Hey guys, Spyder here with Ruin Gaming, and today I'm going to be giving some feedback on Star Wars The Old Republic's basic UI, and if you're new to MMOs, a UI is the user interface, or what you're currently looking at right now. Now let's start off with just the way the UI looks. I personally don't mind the way this default layout is, however, I do wish I could resize or even move a lot of things around, just because I personally like things in a certain place. An example of this would be, I don't like having my minimap on the bottom right corner like this. I would much rather have it in the center right here, or in the top right corner. Another thing is the action bars for your character and even your companion. I really do wish I could move these around and even resize them, because I personally find them a tad too big, and I wish I could move them and place them in a certain spot just for my style of play. Now as for the companion action bar, I feel like it's completely worthless because you only give us 4 buttons that we can't even edit. I thought this button here would give us more buttons, but it just hides them and makes the action bar reappear as the player's bottom action bar slot here, and it hides the player's original bottom action bar, which is to me totally stupid. You really just need to let us add either the companion's cooldowns to the player's action bar, or give us a legitimate companion action bar that we can edit as we see fit. But let's move on to the main thing about this UI that drives me crazy, and that is the focus frame. The focus frame to me in this game is completely garbage, and I don't even see why they have one in the game. Now I'm going to focus myself so I can show you exactly what I mean. Now as you can see, when I focus myself, there are no buffs and there is no casting bar. If I want to see the buffs on my focus target, I need to retarget that player again really quickly, and then these tiny icons will appear. Now these icons are so small that during PvP, I wouldn't even notice if someone gained or even popped the cooldown, because as you can see here, when I pop some of my cooldowns, I notice them pretty well on my player and target frames, but as for the focus frame, I seriously wouldn't even notice these tiny icons pop up unless I was already looking at the focus target. And even then, I probably would need to mouse over the icons to see what they popped, and by the time I've done all this, the cooldown would have been up for at least 5 to 10 seconds. So give the focus frame some love, and let me move it around, resize it, and make these buffs bigger. Also, make it so my focus frame doesn't keep dropping if I die or the person I have focused dies. Now let's take a look at our user interface options in the preferences. Now it is extremely disappointing to see the lack of options in here. Now if you're not going to allow players to make mods for your game, then you're going to have to provide all the UI stuff that we want. We want the ability to move anything anywhere and resize anything. We also want threat meters and damage meters. Now come take a trip with me to the Galactic Trade Network. Now my biggest issue I have with this is you don't let me search for something just by clicking right here in the name filter. If I want to search for something like say red goo because I know I need it, then just let me search for it. Don't make me go through the category and subcategory just to get to my red goo. Yes, it's nice to be able to search through these for when say I want a biochem pattern I don't have, but at the same time, that's just a lot of hassle for someone that's just looking for one thing and they already know what it is. Now I guess this technically is the biggest thing about the UI that pisses me off, and that's the fact that the backslash key is the default key to open customer service sheets. Even though when you scroll over it, it says that the default key is control and backslash. Now, you can't even change this key binding even if you go into the preferences and key bindings and then you remove it from the chat settings and all that fun stuff, because even if you do that, you still hit it and the chat window still pops up, and it is extremely stupid. When I'm in a war zone and I'm over here on the left node by myself in Alderaan and I see a bunch of Imperials coming at me and I go to hit enter really quickly and I end up hitting that goddamn backslash key and it pops up in my window, that's 3 seconds of my life spent exiting out of that window to call incoming. Why? Whose idea was it to put that as a customer service key? Like seriously, beside enter? Like seriously, beside enter? Like I don't think you understand. Seriously, beside enter? Because that is the stupidest thing ever. Finally, I wasn't going to include this, but it makes me laugh that something like this is still in the game, or even made it into the game for that matter. If you open and close anything like your skill tree, bags, character sheet, or anything like that, you'll notice you lag for a split second. Now, I'm not sure if it's lag or frame rate issues. I'm pretty sure it's more or less frame rate issues. Now, if you spam that button, you can totally tell that there's frame rate issues because your game will just completely start playing like a slideshow. Now, if you do that while in Ilum during mass PvP, it will guarantee that you're going to disconnect yourself. And if you don't disconnect, you're extremely lucky. Try it a couple times while doing mass PvP, and I'm pretty sure you'll DC yourself. Now, I don't understand why this is still in the game, so that's why I'm actually putting it in here, so BioWare can, you know that it's here. They probably already do, but just for safe measures, I thought I would throw it in. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this default UI, and what kind of things do you want to see added or changed in the future? Be sure to post them in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, favorite, and check us out at ruination.com.